Hello and welcome to 5-Minute Math. Today we are looking at the 8th grade concept of dilations. This is standard 8.3b in the great state of Texas, and we are using item number 20 off the 2017 released STAAR test. If you have not done so already, please go ahead and take a moment to pause the video, work this problem out on your own, unpause it, and we will look at our answers together. So we have a pentagon here, MNPQR, shown here on this very small coordinate grid, and it's going to be dilated with the origin as the center, so that's going to be very helpful. And here's the rule: xy gets transformed into 1/4 x and then 1/4 y. So what happens to that? Well, let's actually dilate this a little bit. Let's see if we can figure this out. So I'm going to start with probably the easiest one right here. Look at this r. So this r is 12, 0, which means if we dilate that, r prime is going to be 1/4 times 12, and then the y is going to be 1/4 times 0. So that's what that means. So really that r prime is going to be 1/4 times 12, that means 12 divided by 4, so that's going to be 3, and then my 0 still stays at 0. So we took that 12 and we took 1/4 of it. So I'm going to put this little r prime right there. I'm going to label it r prime. Now that's the easiest one because this is kind of a small one, but we could take a look at some of these other ones. We can kind of guesstimate on some of this. So this q right here, q is -2, and that is 8, right? So we're going to transform that. So q prime is going to be 1/4 times -2 as the x, 1/4 times 8. So that is going to equal 1/4 times -2, so that's going to be -2/4, so that's -1/2. And then 1/4 times 8, that's 8 over 4, that's 2. So -1/2, that's very small, and then 2. So wow, look at that. That q goes from way up there up to -1/2, 2. So we're looking like right around there. Something along the lines of that. That's q prime. And so there's my line. So this line right here is similar to that line right there. Look how much smaller it got. So let's see if we could do one more, and I think we'll figure out the pattern from that. So P is going to be -8, 4. So we're going to transform that. And P prime is going to be, let's see, 1/4. Let's make that a 1/4 times -8 as the x, 1/4 times 4 as the y. So that equals 1/4 times -8. So that's -8/4. That's -2. And then 1/4 times 4 is easy. That's 1. So -2, 1. So -2, 1. Look at that right there. That's P prime. Look at that little guy. That is going to be extremely tiny. So let's look at, and this right here kind of matches that right there. That's ridiculous. All right, so we can continue, but you could see we're going to get just a much smaller, something that looks kind of like that. So pentagon, this prime pentagon is larger. That's a no. Pentagon M prime, N prime, P prime, Q prime, and R prime is larger now. So let's just get rid of F and J. We just dilated the first 3, and you could see it's going to be much smaller. So let's look at our 2 smaller options, see which one makes more sense. It's smaller than the original pentagon because the scale factor is, there we go. That's it. The only word that's different is less or greater. Well, my scale factor is less than 1 because it's 1/4, so my answer here is G.